So in this episode, I want to talk about voice, developing a voice. Like, what does it mean to have your own voice? Emails. Megan, I like your first name as is the same as my granddaughter's second name. When I was in my 20s, I took a year off from college and worked that year at General Dynamics Shipyard in Quincy. It took me years to clean up my language after that. Watch one of your videos on Podbean, find things I wanted to prepare for when I started out, and I was disturbed by your language on the video. You made good points, but they definitely could have been made much better without the swearing. Swearing like that on videos, even if done intentionally to add an edge, can turn a number of viewers off to your channel, which is something I know you do not want to do. Okay. I'm coming off of a little bit of a cold. Apparently I have asthma, so the voice is not going to be as strong today. And I'm really going to try to get through this episode. And I was really going to put it off this week because I kind of already put it off last week if you didn't notice, but I need to say this. So what you guys were seeing was me reading an email, and I've been getting them kind of infrequently, not very many. I think the max is like 3 of these, but I think it's really kind of important to put down some thoughts on it and to make it an actual episode for Get in the Lab. That way you guys understand kind of where I'm coming from and where I intend to come from all the time. And here's the thing, all throughout high school and all throughout school, I was friends with everybody but friends with nobody, because I could really just adapt to anybody who was around me. I could take on the mannerisms and just kind of be accepted for this clique, this clique, this clique. I mostly found more myself when I was being a jock and playing sports and being with that clique. But for the most part, I was just a drifter. And before vlogging, you know, I would train myself. I would start to practice, and I've said this many times, but I would practice in my car and over my like 3-hour commutes, either when I was going to college or I was going to a job, and I would practice on how a conversation would look like between me and somebody else. And most of these conversations was just kind of modeling like inside the actor's studio. Not trying to be a celebrity, but just I really was enamored by the way some celebrities carry themselves, or some actors per se would carry themselves, and how they had just confidence with being them, you know. They're just really okay with being themselves. And I said, man, I want to get to that point where I totally feel no flutter in my voice or no uneasiness in the way that I sound or how I look or whatever. And I want to get to that point. And so I would practice, and I've been practicing, guys, ever since that time, ever since college, ever since getting my first job, and ever since I came into the online space of voicing my own opinion. I remember the very first interviews I gave, very quivery voice, very high-pitched, you know, very ungrounded in who I was. And the more I just kept doing it, the more I kept practicing, I started to be a little bit more loose with my words. There was a cuss word here and there every now and again, but it's not for shock and awe. It's just merely for expression, right? And the intention of where I'm coming from and how I choose to express myself. And so that has lent itself to, for me to attract a certain sort of audience along the way. And I've loved the audience that has come to love me in this 3 to 4 year process of creating content online. And I'm very, very grateful to them. And every now and again, I get an email or a comment saying, you know, you shouldn't curse because whatever, right? Maybe you're gonna alienate some audiences and you're gonna turn some people off, and I know you don't wanna do that. And it's like, well, actually I do. Because if I turn you off, then that means then I have done my job. And it is my job to be me every single day, because I have fought tooth and nail against my own self to develop my own voice and to make sure that it's being heard, because that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted from my life. And there was so much of me when I was a child and when in my adolescence and even into my younger adult years where I did not have a voice, and I just kept choosing to appease maybe the person that was in my life at that time, or the friends that were around me, the friends, or the authoritative figures, or whoever was telling me whatever they were imposing upon me. And I just, over time, I woke up to that. And even though waking up to that was instant, the progress and the training of oneself to get over that is a daily practice. Every day I'm practicing on how to be more me. So if I turn you off, please unsubscribe. if the way that I speak or the way that I style my words or express myself turns you off, then please unsubscribe, because that means that I am doing my job of being me, which is really hard. It is really hard, because there's a part of me that does want to appease these people who are sending me these messages saying, please don't curse. Because I get it, I get where you're coming from, and I respect it. I respect your religion. I respect your upbringing. I respect whatever the story that you're telling me in that moment. I respect it. At the same time, I'm always going to reply, please respect my own style, my own way of creating content, because there are thousands of other people out there for you to consume, you know? And if I have to fight you or convince you that what I'm saying is my truth, then it's not worth it for either of us. So that's kind of how I view it. And, you know, looking back, and if I could make a note on cursing, you know, looking back, I was very judgmental. And I would say the exact same words that I'm hearing people say to me. I would say, that person curses in their casual language to me, you know, just hanging out or whatever. I would think that person is stupid and uneducated. And I would think that women who wear short skirts and dress provocatively are slutty. I would think that when I was younger. And I would think, when I first got into entrepreneurship, I tried to convince everybody that it was the greatest thing in the world. And if you weren't working for yourself, then you were an idiot. I used to think that. And now I'm eating these words because I curse all the live long day. If you ever come to my house, you're just gonna hear curse words all the time. I'm sorry, that's just what happens. And I've actually been photographed and in lingerie, and I've shown them publicly to you guys. And I have no problem with that. And what else? I love the 9-to-5er, the 9-to-5 jobber as much as the next person. I understand that entrepreneurship is a way of life that you choose every single day to do, and it is not easy. So I respect everybody in their own terms and the own ways that they have raised themselves and the way that they believe the world to be. And I respect it, you know. And I always say, if you dig the message, and if you dig what's going on over here in the lab, then please come on down, because we're gonna have a good time together. But if you don't, then you don't. You know, as I've matured and I've gotten older, and I'm gonna be 30 this year, and my hope was to myself, and I made a magic wish, you know, just kind of put it out there, and I said, man, I hope I have my shit together when I'm 30. That's it. I just hope I have my shit together. And within that kind of very broad definition, I think I'm kind of there, you know. At least I'm aware to it, and I'm saying, oh, I gotta have my shit together. I need to be more me every single day. And it is hard because, you know, like I said, you want to be certain things for some people, and I at some point I think I am a people pleaser. I've lived that kind of life for a very long time, but I've learned lessons, because being a people pleaser often led to very, very compromising situations for myself drastic changes to my life that I wouldn't take back, but they were just incredible, quote unquote mistakes that were just almost debilitating. Bankruptcy, being in a really emotionally abusive relationship, and not even just with an intimate partner, but with friends and with family. And so I've learned my lesson, and I'm not at this point going to compromise that. And it's something that I encourage a lot of you lab rats to do, is once you start to develop your voice, and if you know who you are, and you're kind of like me, where it feels like you've rediscovered, it's like a rebirth of things, where you've rediscovered your own truth. And every day you're like, holy crap, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I used to live this way, and now here I am. And if you're ever in that situation, try to celebrate it every single time, and please respectfully shut down the naysayers and the people who would try to change you. And for all intents and purposes, whether it's language, whether it's style, whether it's a bad deed or a mistake, what I try to look at is the intention. And this is something that I try to put forward in all of my content, which is, here is my intention. There's a style, there's maybe a curse word every now and again, there's a weird hairstyle, or maybe too much makeup in the eyebrows, or whatever, right? That's surrounding the intention of delivering content that hopes to inspire and hopes to entertain, because that's where I find my joy, is when somebody writes me back and says, oh my gosh, that was a great episode, or that was very inspiring, or thank you for all that you do. And so for all of those somewhat negative but respectful, the emails and the comments that I get, they're always respectful, but they're still, trying to change me and trying to quiet my voice that I've fought for, which is okay, I respect that. But they're always polite, so I like that. But there's always a number of comments and a number of emails that outweigh that, are saying, good job, go for it, be you. I love it when you curse. Because it feels like I get to see the real you, and yeah. So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for your feedback. If you didn't enjoy an episode, or the way that I said something offended you in some way, thank you for writing to me, because I think that's important, to feel safe enough to say something and to voice your own opinion. But just know that I'm going to respond just like this, and I'll probably just forward you this episode. But yeah, thank you guys, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you 110% for being here in the lab with me. There's nowhere else I'd rather be, and even with this this aching cough and this voice that yearns to be strong at this moment, I hope you see my intention to always inspire and to always be here for you in the way that I know how, which is like this, just like this. So it's really good news, guys. Good news abound. We're in our first week of April. It's Veda week going on right now. If you guys are into that, it's vlog every day in April. It's a great way to get acquainted with filming yourself and getting over filming yourself. The books, if you're a Kickstarter backer, are on their way. They're going to be done this Friday. Best believe I'm gonna vlog it all and get all of my unboxings and reactions and everything. I'm putting together special packages for my backers who have supported the project. I'm so excited to bring it to you. And last but not least, we have so much good stuff happening in the lab, namely getting the lab live. So if you want to learn more about this live event that I'm going to be putting on in Huntington Beach, August 14th, this coming summer. It's going to be about marketing. I have so much content to show you guys that I can't put here in the end. But if you want to learn more, you can always go to getinthelablive.com to get more information there. It's not only going to be me, but it's going to be a bunch of my best thought leaders that I have handpicked out of my group of lab rats here in SoCal, and even out of SoCal. We have a speaker coming from Arizona, and it's going to be a good time. So getinthelab.live.com. And other than that, good things, guys. And I will see you in that next episode. Once again, my name is Meg, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see ya.